Hey guys, here I sit in my sofa. My name is Lucas Linnason. Welcome to today's video. I was sitting here and tried to figure out what I was going to talk about in today's video, and I started to realize that I had so much performance anxiety. I really want to make something good out of this, but I didn't know really what to do. And then it just hit me. I should talk about anxiety and the fact that I am actually suffering from this performance anxiety and that I'm really being tough on myself when it comes down to this. So this video will be all about anxiety, and I'm telling you, anxiety does not equal to being weak. So let's kick this video straight away. I don't know how it is with you guys, but at least I seem to think that everyone else out there is so much stronger, so much more successful, and so much better at handling these weird stuff that goes on in our brains sometimes. And as soon as I get anxiety, I feel like I am the only one who suffers from these kind of things. And I know it's stupid. I am not the only one who suffers from stressing or feeling anxious or whatever. And there is a million reasons for why we all have anxiety. There is everything from work, from university, from relationships. Maybe we lost someone, maybe we are in a stressy situation, maybe we have a lot of performance that we have to get through, or whatever it is. Anxiety comes in all types of shapes and forms, but it always seems like someone else is handling better. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. But actually, to be honest, I think that the opposite is actually true. I think that most people out there, they do suffer from this. They are stressing, they're having anxiety, just like you and I. And the fact is that we just don't talk about it. I know that I'm for sure not sharing it too much with people around me, more than those that I really trust. And I think it's the same for most people. And it is a shame that it's such taboo to talk about something like stressing or having anxiety, because it's something that hits all of us. And it's more and more, it's getting more and more in our society as the pressure from the outside world is getting higher. It's getting much more heavy, at least from what I can see, to be a young person in today's world. You need to perform at university, in school, even before you went to school. You're supposed to be able to read, you're supposed to be able to count, you're supposed to do mathematics or whatever, and you're supposed to be a doctor or whatever, and you're supposed to make money and be successful and make it on YouTube and all these kind of things that are stressing us. And it's not getting easier, and the world is getting faster and faster and faster. And I think that this is something that we should really talk about. We should not let that just pass through our fingers. And I just want to tell everyone out there, or I want to make this video because I want to share my ideas, my experience with you guys, because we are not alone and we're in this together, and we should be in this together, and we should help each other out.
First things first, what is it that is actually happening in our brain when we get anxiety? First of all, we have this part, or that's a really small part in our brain called the amygdala, or aka the reptile brain, that is basically responsible for all the fear and all other kind of emotional reactions that we have in our brain. And the amygdala is very impulsive and very irrational, so it is working really fast without thinking things through, and it's just handling situation coming thrown at us. And I mean, there first has to be something that triggers the amygdala, something that is maybe dangerous or so on. And this made a lot of sense when back in the days we had to flee from dangerous animals or someone trying to kill us. So amygdala is basically kicking us into a fight or flight mode when these dangerous situation comes up. And it makes the system start working on overdrive, and we get higher pulse and heartbeat, and we start to sweat, and we try to figuring out a way to handle these situations. And this made sense, like I said, in the wild, but today it is often triggered by non-dangerous situations like an angry boss, or stress over a task at work, or finishing something at university. And it might come up as anxiety or end up in anxiety, because these situations are much more hard to, or much harder to grasp. They are not as black and white as the situations back in the days were, where when you ran away from a dangerous animal, you knew either you survived or you died. You get killed by this animal, and then you knew when the danger was over. Today, it's harder for us to try to sort out when is the danger over or not, and often we live in these kind of stressful situations constantly, which triggers this within our brain, and it exhausts us, and it leads to anxiety, trouble sleeping and concentrating, and so on. And I am more talking in this video about the milder anxiety, and if it is so that you are suffering from a much more harder anxiety, which is hard to handle and that prevents you from living a normal life, I suggest that you instead seek professional help. And there is nothing wrong or nothing to be ashamed about that. And anyone can end up needing this help at points in life. And it doesn't matter if you're a CEO of the biggest company in the world, or if you just in school and you feel troubled by this anxiety coming up. Seek help and take help then. And me myself, I've been using therapy, and it was awesome. I learned a lot, and it doesn't make me sick or a weird person. It was just useful at this point in my life. So don't feel ashamed about that. So let's go back to the video.
Having anxiety, being stressed, and feeling low is not something to be ashamed of, and it's really, really normal. And I don't know why we have made such a taboo topic out of something like this that is actually so normal for everyone else out there also. And that's basically something I've seen a lot. I am a very outgoing person. I'm kind of extrovert. If you meet me, and maybe even if you watch my videos, I don't think that the first impression that you would get of me is that I'm a very worrisome and really anxious person that also beat myself up a lot, that is not that self-confident actually, even though I appear very self-confident on the outside. It is actually the opposite when I talk to myself in here. I know it sounds really weird, but it's actually true. But that doesn't mean that I'm a weak person or that I'm weak or bad at what I'm doing or whatever. But I have the feeling that it's still taboo and that it's seen as weakness to be anxious. I see it as a strength actually, and I know that I've become much stronger from having anxiety actually. So I am a very extrovert. I'm a very hardworking and high-performing person. If I am I allowed to say that to myself about myself? Am I? Yeah, I'll say it. I work really hard, but that's also because of my anxiety. For me, anxiety comes in performance anxiety. I really have to perform, especially when it comes to other people. I beat myself down if I do not perform, and I push myself really hard to make good jobs. So if I'm working on something, I will make sure that it's coming out perfect. And that has been really hard on me. Actually, it started already in school or in young age. By then I didn't know what it was, and I could barely handle it. It actually took it so far that I became depressed, and I had to deal with that. It almost cost me my life. Through the years, I've been working and working on this, and I've learned how to handle it. And nowadays it actually has become more of a strength than a weakness. For me personally, being anxious actually pushes me to perform better because I think things through some extra times before I leave a work or to someone else or to the one that I'm supposed to give it to. It also makes me more self-aware. But actually the best part that anxiety and stress have taught me is to calm down a little bit and be more compassionate to other people. Because actually, just like with me, it might not look like I'm anxious on the outside. I have realized that it's the same with people around me. The biggest, baddest guy out there might be the one that is suffering the most. So it has made me more humble and a way more understanding person. And that's also what I've came to realize. The most humble and the most strongest mental person or people out there that I know are actually suffering from quite a deal of, or quite some anxiety. So it's something that a lot of us are suffering in silence with, and is not really showing on the outside, which I feel is a shame. And I would lie if I would say that I just brush anxiety off my shoulder. It's not true. I have to fight really hard. handling it. And when it comes, it comes. It is what it is, and I cannot really do anything about it. I've realized that that's who I am, and that's what I got to work with. So I have worked with it and I've become much better. I have actually tried to make it a strength of mine, my anxiety, and it has made me more resilient. And it's for sure giving me a hard time at times. And I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of anxiety at points, but I'm actually handling it okay. And it's getting better and better. It for sure goes up and down, and there's different types of anxiety. And if you're feeling that you cannot handle your anxiety, then you should really seek professional help, and don't feel ashamed about that at all. But for you guys out there, there is just like me suffering maybe from more the performance anxiety or other type of anxieties. Here's some tips for you guys. What I have done is that exercise is really helping me. Go out running for a bike tour or a hike or whatever. That is really good. And going out in nature is also calming my mental state down, and I feel much better after being out in nature. Also talking to people that you trust, your best friends, whoever that wants to listen, that can help you feel better about it and get some perspectives. And I have also read a lot about it. I will share some really cool links down below if you guys want to read a little bit more on it, some discussions from other people, some journals and so on. And understanding the topic of anxiety better also helps you to handle your own anxiety much better. And maybe we can do something good out of this together, because I don't think that we should live in a world where we tell others that it's a weakness to be stressing or having anxiety. I think that we should instead create a world together where we help each other out with it, and also let ourselves being anxious, because it's normal. It's a normal state of mind. We have it because we are born to have this kind of fear of what might come up and what might happen, to be sharper and think things through, to not make stupid decisions actually. So it doesn't have to be something negative. It's for sure not a weakness if you make something good out of it. Make sure that you leverage into something really good, maybe even your strength, and it will make you more resilient, because undergoing and handling really tough things like breakups, losing someone, pushing through whatever it is, work, uni, hard tasks or whatever, will make you much stronger. And like I said, some of the strongest people mentally that I know is also those people that have suffered the most. So if anxiety is holding you back, then get into the topic, read a little bit more about it, get out into nature, move and exercise, talk to people that you trust, and don't let that stop you, because we are a lot of people together that can help each other out. And even though it might not seem like it, people that are really professional, people that are really strong on the outside might suffer more than you can imagine. So be compassionate, be nice to yourself, and don't let anxiety stop you from having a really good life. And once you have learned more, then help others out. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I really hope that it could inspire you guys. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and take care of each other and yourselves. Bye.